Today we are making cookie dough fat bombs. Welcome back to the Pop Keto Kitchen, and today we've got a cool little recipe for you where we're making cookie dough fat bombs 2 ways. It's going to be great. Hope you've been enjoying the videos that we've been putting out, so the recipe videos that we do in the kitchen, but also the chat videos like our last week's ABCs of starting keto. We love getting feedback from you guys, so if you've got any ideas on things you'd like to have us cover, either as a recipe or as in that chat sort of format, we'd love to hear from you. In fact, someone got in contact with us this week. Lee from Coventry in the UK got in contact with us. He was making mayonnaise using our recipe and he sent us a photo of it, so that was really cool. And this is it. This is what it looked like. He said he added some garlic and chili to it and it was amazing. So thank you, Lee, for getting in contact with us. We'd love to hear from you guys when you do make stuff. So if you put up a photo on Instagram, tag it Pop Keto, and also follow us at popketo_, and we'll put that up on the screen so that you can see that. All right, so let's get into this. Now, we've made some fat bombs before on the channel. We made fudgy cocoa fat bombs. I will put the link up there and also in the description. Especially when you're starting keto, it's great to have little keto-friendly snacks around just to help you get through those times where you might have cravings or when you might be trying to make up some of the fats through the day. Now, the recipe we're doing today, we're doing a vanilla choc chip and also a double choc, which is amazing. Now, this dough is not being cooked. If you were making a similar recipe to this in a non-keto fashion, you would probably use normal flour. So we're going to be replacing that with almond flour and coconut flour, which is really nice. Also, making it the non-keto way, you probably want to heat treat the flour. There can sometimes be issues with a colloid that's not treated in the flour making process. So you do that in the oven or microwave. Now, with almond flour and coconut flour, it's not so much an issue. We all eat almonds raw and we all eat coconut raw. Well, the people who enjoy it, but you are welcome to heat treat it if you need to, and we'll show you how to do that with one of the batches. We're going to start with the vanilla choc chip. All right, in this bowl, we have 115 grams of unsalted butter. And to this, we are going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 3/4 of a cup of just granulated erythritol. We're going to hit that up with an electric mixer to get it all mixed together, and this butter's been warmed to room temperature to help with that. All right, so we've been doing that for a couple of minutes here, and you can see that the butter has gone all nice and fluffy with the sugar and salt in there, and that is a good start. All right, now to this, we are going to add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and 1.5 tablespoons of almond milk. Now, we'll keep the almond milk nearby in case we need it. We'll have a look later if the mix gets too thick. We might want to loosen it up just with a bit of that. All right, and we mix again. Brilliant, have a look at that texture there. That is almost the texture of butter frosting that you'd put on a cake. Okay, now to this, we are going to add our flours, and this one we're not going to heat up the flour. So in here we have 3/4 of a cup of almond flour and 1/4 of a cup of coconut flour, which I've sort of mixed together. So that just goes in. And then we mix it through. It's already looking great. Now, the last thing that we're going to put in here is some keto-friendly choc chips. Now, we haven't found a keto-friendly choc chip ourselves, so what we are doing is we are using a keto-friendly chocolate that we have just chopped up into little chunks, and this is 1/2 cup of chocolate chunks. And then we just fold that through. Now I'm pretty happy with that texture, so I'm not going to add any more liquid at this time, but we are going to start rolling them up. So just using a tablespoon, we take a scoop, using clean hands. Hope you're all washing your hands during COVID-19, and then we just pop them down in here. All right, I'm just gonna put this aside for now. I've got a few rolled out there, but let's get on to the double choc ones. Now, this recipe starts the same as the vanilla choc chip in that we start with the butter, salt, and erythritol, and we mix that up till it's fluffy. Then to that, we add vanilla and 1.5 tablespoons of almond milk until we're happy with that consistency. Okay, that's all caught up and we're up to where it starts to get different. Now, you saw what my coconut and almond mixture looked like when I put it into the vanilla choc chip recipe. And for this version, I've taken that almond and coconut and I've put it in the microwave and heated it at 30-second bursts, giving it a bit of a stir between. Now the important thing here to note is that the coconut flour is going to brown. I took it to a crumb that almost looks like a biscuit crumb. That's the color that I got from it. And that could almost be a nice color to go with the vanilla choc chip ones as well. Apart from this, the other dry ingredient we're going to add is cocoa, which means once it's all mixed up, you're actually not going to see much of this toastedness anyway. But in here, we have half a cup of almond flour and a quarter cup of coconut flour. And then we are going to add 1/4 of a cup of cocoa. And we're going to give that a really thorough stir as well. Just stopping occasionally to scrape down the sides with the spatula. Now this mixture is a little more dense than the vanilla one, so if you need to add some more almond milk, you definitely can, but do it at about half a tablespoon at a time just so that it doesn't get too wet. And then being double choc, well, we have to throw in some more chocolate chips, don't we? And we just fold them through. And we just got our tablespoon again, we're gonna roll out some balls. Brill, so that is them. And I guess the last thing to do, taste test. These double choc ones are really good. Yum. So good. Oh, they are dangerous. Yum. All right, so they are really good. Oh, so good. Now, I'd actually recommend you make these the day before you want them. The erythritol in it just seems to settle down a little bit by the next day, and it's still nice and sweet, but not as erythritol-y. If you haven't had a lot of experience with erythritol, sometimes it can have a little bit of a cooling effect if there's too much of it or if it's too strong. So right now I'm getting just a little bit of that. Tomorrow it'll be amazing. All right, well, I have enjoyed this so much. These are so good. Put them in the fridge, put them in the freezer, make sure you defrost them before you eat them, or not, I'll just leave that up to you. Eating them at room temperature like this is great. Eating them chilled is perfect. And if you have a recipe for a keto-friendly ice cream, well, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but you can put 2 and 2 together. That would be amazing. So there you are, have a look at them there. They are so good. All right, we hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you have, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And a massive thanks to you who have. Don't forget to tag us on Instagram and follow our account, popketo_, and we'll see you next week. Bye everyone.